Chances are they're living in your area, maybe even on your street. Convicted sex offenders. To see if there are any living nearby, you can search your state's sex offender registry online or over the phone. Those on parole are monitored closely by the state. Deputy Regional Director William Ponder is with the New York State Division of Parole.
Level 1s are the lowest risk, then level 2 are medium risk, and level 3 are the highest risk. And when they come under parole supervision, we use the most proactive supervision possible. We make sure individuals are engaged in treatment. We make sure individuals are properly reporting. We go by their employment. We have them report into the office. We visit them at home.
Many communities impose restrictions on where sex offenders may live or work while on parole.
The process of grooming a victim is a process where you engage them in oftentimes a very common place. And so we want to make sure that even though they cannot reside near these institutions, that they're not going by them. That's why we use global tracking.
The global tracking system allows parole officers to search the address of a parolee's potential residence to make sure it fits the requirements.
Lots of the parolees that are under our supervision are restricted from being within 1,000 feet of a school or park or where children congregate. So what we do is we look up their address, proposed addresses on this system to see if they conform with that requirement.
Some parolees are placed on electronic monitoring. That means they wear an ankle bracelet like this 24/7.
We use this device on people to kind of give them a warning that we're serious and that we want to really monitor what they're doing, where they're doing, and where they are.
But most of the monitoring happens on the street, so I took a ride with a parole officer to get a first-hand look at how she keeps tabs on her parolees.
Parole officer Patty Rojas monitors sex offenders in the Bronx.
They're out here. The sex offenders are definitely out here. It's really difficult monitoring these guys because, you know, they're mentally ill and they have a history of violence, and but we do the best that we can.
Officer Rojas has to make sure she knows where her parolees are at all times.
If it's early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, it's late at night, doing curfew checks to make sure they're in their residence.
Our first stop is an apartment where a new parolee is living with a family member.
So just as long as you know, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I don't want you out of this house, please. Work with me, I'll work with you, and you'll go someplace. All right, take care.
Go 0.3 miles.
Next stop, a medical facility to check on an ill parolee who said he was too sick to make his last meeting at the parole office. But the log for the facility said he'd signed out to go visit his sister.
Now he'll call me, because he'll get the message, and then I'll speak to him, and we'll discuss what and why he didn't make the report, and if he was so sick, how then was he able to get up and visit his sister?
Our last stop is the apartment of a level 3 sex offender.
I just placed him on electronic monitoring a couple of weeks ago. Oh, you left it? How's the monitor? Let me see. It's good? No problems?
No problem.
I've seen a difference in him since I placed that on him, right or wrong.
I told you I'm gonna do the right thing.
But while officers do their best to monitor sex offenders on parole, most registered sex offenders are no longer parolees. In fact, the majority of sex crimes are committed by offenders with no prior sex offenses. In other words, by people not on the registry.
Most pedophiles are people that we know. We encourage people to really observe their children's lives and what they're doing and really use universal precautions, even if the person's not on a registry.